Hey there, music lovers! Get ready to dive into some of the most bizarre and fascinating music facts that you'll want to share with everyone you know. It's like your brain is about to become a walking, talking jukebox of coolness. From quirky historical tidbits to mind-blowing trivia, we've got it all covered in today's video. We're talking stuff that'll make you the life of the party, or, at least the most interesting one at the water cooler. So buckle up, crank up the volume, and get ready to have your mind blown. First up, let's talk about the Beatles, those lovable mop tops from across the pond. Now you know them, you love them, but did you know that the word love pops up a whopping 613 times in their songs? That's a whole lot of love. I mean, it makes sense, right? The Beatles were all about peace and love, man. They were like the poster children for good vibes in the 1960s. Flower power, baby, and their music, it's like a warm hug for your soul. From Love Me Do to All You Need Is Love, those guys knew how to spread the love around. Next up, we're traveling back in time to hang out with the musical genius that is Mozart. This guy was like a composing machine. I mean, we're talking over 600 works of music before he kicked the bucket at the ripe old age of, wait for it, 35. Think about that for a second. That's like writing a symphony before breakfast, a couple of concertos before lunch, and then whipping up an opera for dessert. The man was a legend, and his music? Timeless. From Eine kleine Nachtmusik to The Marriage of Figaro, Mozart's tunes are still blowing minds centuries later. Alright folks, get ready for this one. The longest song title ever clocks in at a mind-boggling 305 characters. I mean seriously, it's longer than a CVS receipt. The song is called, Get Ready to Take a Deep Breath, the sad story of a little boy that was eating his ice cream too slow, and his ice cream fell on the ground, and he started crying, and when his mom asked him what happened, he lied and said he didn't know where his ice cream went. I can only imagine the writer staring at a blank page, tapping their pen and thinking, you know what this song needs? A title that could double as a short story. Hold on to your hats, metalheads, because we're about to headbang our way to Finland. This Nordic nation is like the heavy metal capital of the world. They've got more metal bands per capita than any other country. It's like every other person you meet is in a death metal band with names like Children of Bodom or Nightwish. And you know what? They're not messing around. Finnish metal is known for its epic melodies, brutal riffs, and lyrics that'll make your hair stand on end. It's enough to make you want to grow your hair out, throw on a leather jacket, and scream along. Have you ever seen a piano so big you could practically live inside it? Well, get this. The world's largest grand piano was built by a 15-year-old kid. That's right, a teenager. This piano is so massive it's longer than a school bus and weighs more than an elephant. I'm not sure how they got it into the concert hall, but I bet it was a sight to see. I can just imagine this kid in his garage surrounded by tools and wood saying, I'm going to build the biggest piano the world has ever seen. And you know what? He did. Back in the day, before we had YouTube and TikTok and all that jazz, there was MTV, the music television channel that changed the game. And the very first music video to grace those airwaves was none other than Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. Talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy. That video was like a shot heard round the world, ushering in a new era of music and visuals. Suddenly it wasn't enough to just sound good. You had to look good too. And the rest, as they say, is history. MTV went on to become a cultural phenomenon, launching the careers of countless artists and changing the way we consume music forever. Ever have that annoying experience where a song gets stuck in your head on repeat? Like it's playing on a loop, driving you slowly insane? Well, my friend, you've been hit by an earworm. Scientists believe that certain songs, often those with simple melodies and repetitive lyrics, are more likely to burrow their way into our brains and set up camp. It's like they have a one-way ticket to your subconscious. So the next time you find yourself humming Baby Shark for the 100th time, blame it on the earworm. It's not your fault, it's science. Now let's talk about some serious dough, shall we? The most expensive musical instrument ever sold was a Stradivarius violin, which went for a cool $16 million. That's right, millions. These violins are like the holy grail of the music world, crafted by the legendary Antonio Stradivari back in the 17th century. They're known for their exquisite sound and craftsmanship, and owning one is like owning a piece of history. Of course, most of us can only dream of owning a Strad, but hey, a musician can dream, right? Hold on tight because we're about to blast off into the world of grindcore with the shortest song ever recorded. Clocking in at a blistering 1.316 seconds, You Suffer by Napalm. Death is not for the faint of heart. It's basically just a wall of noise. A sonic assault that's over before you know it. I'm not sure if you can even dance to it, but it'll definitely wake you up in the morning. I guess sometimes less is more, right? Or maybe it's just noise. I'll let you be the judge. Ludwig van Beethoven, the musical genius who gave us symphonies that'll make you want to conquer the world, was also, sadly, going deaf. Can you imagine that? Losing your hearing while composing some of the most beautiful music ever written? But Beethoven didn't let that stop him. He kept on composing even when he could barely hear a thing. Talk about dedication. He's a true inspiration, proving that you can overcome any obstacle with passion and determination. Plus, his music is still epic. Remember the days of vinyl records, those big black discs that you had to handle with care or risk a scratch? Well, in the 1980s, a new format came along and changed everything, the CD. And the very first CD pressed in the United States was none other than Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, the boss himself leading the charge into the digital age. CDs were smaller, more durable, and could hold more music. It was a revolution in the music industry. Suddenly you could skip to your favorite track without having to carefully move the needle on a record player. Next up, we're going back to a Beatles classic that's so good everyone wants to sing it yesterday. This timeless ballad holds the record for the most covered song in history, with over 2,200 different versions recorded. From Elvis Presley to Frank Sinatra, from Marvin Gaye to Ray Charles, it seems like everyone and their grandmother has taken a crack at yesterday, and who can blame them? It's a beautiful song with a melody that'll stay with you long after the music stops. I guess some songs are just timeless, you know? They speak to something universal in all of us. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this next fact is about to blow your mind. The longest concert by a single band lasted for an unbelievable 24 hours. That's right, a whole day of non-stop music by Taylor Max. I can't even imagine the stamina it would take to play for that long. I mean, I get tired after singing karaoke for an hour. These guys are like musical superheroes. I wonder if they took bathroom breaks. Or maybe they just had a designated hydration station on stage. The world may never know. When it comes to touring, no one does it bigger than U2. Their 360 Degrees tour holds the record for the highest-grossing tour of all time, raking in over $736 million. That's enough money to buy a small island. And the stage? Don't even get me started. It was this massive, futuristic structure that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. It was so big you could practically see it from space. U2 knows how to put on a show, and their fans are willing to pay top dollar to see it. Rock on, Bono! Believe it or not, music streaming has been around longer than you might think. The first music streaming service, called Internet Underground Music Archive, launched way back in 1993. That's right, the early days of the internet. Back then, you needed a dial-up connection and the patience of a saint to stream a single song. It was like waiting an eternity for a tiny sip of musical goodness. But look at us now, we can stream millions of songs with the tap of a screen. Thanks, technology. Prepare to be amazed by the oldest known musical instrument, a flute made from a vulture bone that dates back a whopping 40,000 years. That's right, 40,000 years. This ancient flute was discovered in a cave in Germany, and suggests that music has been a part of human culture for far longer than we ever imagined. It's like a time machine that takes us back to the dawn of humanity. I wonder what songs they played on it. Maybe some ancient caveman jams, we can only imagine. Eminem, the lyrical genius who can rhyme orange with banana, also holds the record for the fastest rap in a hit single. In his song Rap God, he spits out an astonishing 15.3 syllables per second. That's faster than a cheetah on roller skates. It's like his mouth is a machine gun, firing off words at lightning speed. I get tongue-tied just trying to say his name. Eminem's lyrical dexterity and flow are unmatched, cementing his status as a true rap legend. Michael Jackson's Invincible is a musical masterpiece, but it also comes with a hefty price tag. This album holds the record for the most expensive album ever made, with a production cost of a whopping $30 million. That's enough money to buy a fleet of luxury cars, or a small country. Okay, maybe not a country, but you get the idea. From elaborate music videos to star-studded collaborations, Invincible was a no-expense spared affair. It's the musical equivalent of a diamond-encrusted gold record. Back in 1994, before the internet became an inescapable part of our lives, the Rolling Stones made history by broadcasting their concert live online. It was the first time a major band had ever done such a thing, and it paved the way for the live-streamed concerts we know and love today. Can you imagine the excitement of witnessing that? Seeing the Rolling Stones perform live from the comfort of your own computer screen? It was revolutionary. Thanks to the Rolling Stones, we can now enjoy concerts from all over the world without ever leaving our homes. Get ready to be amazed by the sheer size of the largest orchestra ever assembled. This musical behemoth consisted of over 8,000 musicians, all playing together in perfect harmony. That's more people than I can count on my fingers and toes. I can only imagine the logistical nightmare of organizing such a massive group of musicians for Venezuela's El Sistema. It's like herding cats, but with instruments. The sound must have been absolutely incredible, a wall of music that could shake the very foundations of the earth. Leo Fender, the inventor of the Stratocaster and the Telecaster, couldn't play guitar. Oh, and did you know in 2016, Mozart sold more albums than Beyoncé, and A Boy Named Sue wasn't written by Johnny Cash. Shel Silverstein wrote it. In 2015, Belfast police used ice cream truck music to deter teenage rioters. During a fundraiser for Hurricane Katrina relief efforts, someone donated $35,000 so that VH1 Classic would have to play 99 Love Ballads on repeat for an entire hour. Prince played 27 instruments on his debut album. Also, President Nixon was an accomplished musician. He played 5 instruments, including the accordion, and played with many famous singers and musicians. Metallica is the only band to perform on all 7 continents. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of bizarre and fascinating music facts. I know I did. Learning about all this cool stuff makes me want to put on my headphones, crank up the tunes, and dance around my living room. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed these bizarre music facts, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun and fascinating content. Until next time, keep those musical vibes flowing.